Got it.
Got the notification. All right. That's all right.
There we go.
I'm subscribed.
Let me tweet it out.
Automatic Brody game.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, man.
Do what it do. What's the line podcast, baby? I did my thing on Best Bets last week. It's like, wow. I'm so strong in my approach.
mm-hmm.
How about the one jump though? When I was listening back, the one jump Rome was talking about, I think it was Saints team total over. On the pod, I was like, yeah, when Rome talk like that, that's when I know I ain't gonna. I either gotta back him or nothing. Like I'm not gonna fade him. He was dead on. Tweet to these niggas. Barely.
Yeah, we're wrong. I'm trying to talk about the polo from last week. This nigga said I'm trying to find a shirt, and he just pull up with that polo, man. Type of guy.
Yeah. Live copy. Take it out west. That wrong. Setting up shop. Yeah, I think he was at. Remember, we're live though.
Liquor store.
Liquor store.
That's all I got for liquor store. Chick-fil-A.
I can see the chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to help baby girl set up. Wow.
Yo, he been killing me lately trying to sneak the cup. Like, niggas don't know he out here off the drink. Nigga, he trying to sneak the cup in the background, man. That shit's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Just grape juice, huh?
Hashtag, where's Rome? Where is he? We're waiting on Rome. Like, come on, Rome. You got to stay away week 1, but Thursday night.
Gotta introduce the guy.
I wanted to do introduce the guy. Like, come on. What is this? Maybe we make it a unique episode, though. He'll just come in.
Oh.
It's not me, right?
It's my phone. I don't know who that is, though.
Hold on. My whole mic wasn't even. Oh, shit. Hold on. Niggas can still hear me?
Yes. Well.
Batman. I might be Batman now. Hold on. Let me double check this shit. How about now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was using the laptop like a schmuck. Here we go. My bad to all laptop mic niggas right now. My bad. Now it makes sense. All right, bet. Bet.
All right. I think I'm about to start this up. We'll do a couple more postings. If you're tuning in right now, we're waiting on Rome. Where's Rome is live and real. He's our guy though, but we know Rome. Oh. Whoa. Sam, how you feeling today though? You back?
Yeah, I'm actually. I'll give my spiel. I am happy to be back, man. I'm hot right now. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back.
Okay, I can appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
What's the line?
Two brews in, got a third. Might go get the fourth since niggas is taking their time and shit. You know what I mean? Might need it for later.
We got the what kind of flying dog is that one? What's that one called?
The truth.
Yeah, the truth. That sounds spicy.
Yeah.
Me right here.
Yeah.
The bloodline joint, the orange.
Yeah, I was mulling that over with the raging bitch, and I was just like, let me just go with the truth real quick. Like the truth is like something way slighter or something. Not at all. But I was just like, let me do this jump real quick.
All right, I'm about to start. Rome will pop in, we're sure.
That would be cool if they sponsored us, flying dog.
Yeah, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? You're a beer sponsor.
Man, say he finna tap in after these nachos. No, that's not what Rome said. I'm sorry. I don't want to put that out there. Yeah. There he is.
Admit.
What's going on, baby? We're live, Rome. We are live.
Damn, Rome.
Where's Rome? We're live. Just let you know.
Definitely my fault.
Nah, we understand. Nobody's perfect. Understand, but I'm just trying to tell you we're live to make sure nothing wild happens. Because none of us are perfect. So I'm just letting you know.
Ready to go.
Ready to go, baby. Week 4.
Notes, stats, all of it. Ready to go. Sit down and start this damn meeting.
What's happening? The people's champ. Our friend from Rome.
Long Tuesday, fellas.
Love a polo, don't you, Rome?
Keep a collar shirt, baby. I keep one.
Keep a collar shirt.
Love to see it. Love to see it, Rome. How you doing, man? Glad to see you, man.
Keep an anti-up shirt right near me too. So just in case I need to switch mid call.
Let them know. All right, I'm just sending out this live to like anybody I see on my phone right now, my uncles, all of that good stuff, But yeah, let's get it started. All right, so we're already live, recording, all of that good stuff. All right, I think we're ready to go. And we're back. Andy Up Consulting presents What's the Line podcast, week 4. Gentlemen, we're back. We got Soundman back with us. Soundman, how you feeling today?
Oh, man, I'm feeling good. Off a couple of IPAs. I'm glad to be back. I want to say shout out to Mike Curry for holding me down last week. No need to toot my own horn, but the Soundman Special's 3-0, looking to go 4-0.
Wait, we'll get it all. I got you.
Just want to throw it out there.
Don't toot your own horn. Let go ahead.
Throw it out there, man. I'm feeling good though, man.
All right. Feeling good. All right. Keith, you're back with us. How you feeling today, Papa Keith? Week 4.
Week 4. We're on to it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not seeing it right now. We got a lot of leans. But I did look at the slate today, and I feel a little more confident about this week.
Yeah. I feel like that's why we're all here to like get you to the leans, to the likes, from the leans to the likes to the leans, et cetera, et cetera. Rome, the people's champ, back again, week 4. How you feeling?
Ready to go. 1-2 on best last week, so we got to clean that up. Got some things to fix technique-wise as far as handicapping, and just need to be a little sharper this week. But we're ready to go.
Yep. And Rome and we had a good convo. I think that was this past Friday. We talked lines, and you were getting into my head, and I felt pretty sharp on that call. But let's talk about best bets. Let's do some reviews. So Rome, the People's Champ, 7-2 best bets on the year. So shout out to that People's Champ. Myself 7-1 on the year. Mike Curry 5-3 best bets. Keys 1-4. We're gonna pick it up, Keys. We're gonna pick it up. But what I really wanted to talk about is let's get into teasers as well. Teasers 3-0 from me, 2-0 from Soundman, 3-0 from Keys, 1-0 from Mike Curry, 1-2 from Rome. So
Not good.
Rome, yeah. I forgot who you had last week that did you dirty. Oh, the Chiefs on the money line. So just wanted to touch on that. But Soundman, I didn't want you to toot your own horn, but I wanted to talk about Soundman for just a second. For all of those that are watching out there, Soundman is the fans' fan. Like when we started this 2 years ago, he's not into sports gambling, like not really. Like he was a little wet behind the ears. He's gotten so much better over the past 2 seasons. Well, obviously we're just in the week 4, but this season, if you betting with Soundman, you just go by his Soundman specials, which we know is an underdog to win the game outright, and his teaser plays. What was the number again? Was it plus 581 with Soundman right now? He is 3-0 in the Soundman specials and 2-0 in his teasers. So you're listen. I gotta give kudos to that Soundman. I love it. I love to see it. How do you feel? Are you in the zone right now? You just
Yeah, I think I don't want to jinx it, man. So, I think we come with the same kind of mindset of certain games, like, people just jacked up in certain spots that they're going to go out there and win for pride. I think when I pick my games for the Soundman special, I'm pretty much picking a team that's trying to win for pride here, man. Like, I wasn't here last week to talk about the Falcons. I don't need to get into it, but I just saw something, the Giants did versus what the Falcons did against the defending Super Bowl champs. And I was just like, yo, there's some pride here. So let's go with the Falcons here. So, Soundman special 3-0. There's a lot of dogs that I like this week. So we'll see if we can go 4-0 this week, man. So feeling good.
All right, let's get right into it. Week 4 NFL Thursday night football. The Jacksonville Jaguars are at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals favored by looks like 7.5 currently. You guys see a different number, let me know. But 7.5 is the number. Total 46.5. Keith, I'm actually start with you because we got to stay away. So I know you don't got too much. Just give me how you feel about this game, quick overall.
Yeah, I mean, I got to lean with the Bengals here. I don't like it because of the number. I think it opened at 6.5. Maybe you mentioned that, but I would really like it more there. At 7.5, you're talking about almost a whole 2 possessions, basically 2 possessions, more than one touchdown. And it's honestly just a play against the Jaguars. I haven't seen anything from them. They are looking like, bottom 2-3 in the league. So on the short week, I like the Bengals to hopefully blow them out at home. If you don't see that from the Bengals, yeah, I feel like it would tell me not a lot because it would just tell me that the Bengals are the Bengals. But yeah, that's what I got on this game.
Yeah, for me, quickly, it is a like for me on the Jacksonville Jaguars plus the 7.5 points. Just don't move it though. I don't want 7. I don't just at 7.5, 7.5 or more. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars in this spot. Winless teams. We know how winless teams at this point against the spread, they start to cover a little more. I'll have that stat to you guys next week because it'll become more equivalent for those winless teams. But this Jacksonville Jaguars team, I think they have talent. At the quarterback position, running back, wide receiver positions, showed something in that first half against the Cardinals on the offensive line. So I think going against this Bengals team who has not performed after a win well against the spread under Zach Taylor, 1-5 against the spread are the Bengals after a win. They've only won 6 times, during his tenure there. So 1-5 against the spread after a win are the Bengals. And I just think that the Jaguars, it's a short week. You're coming in here Thursday night. We always see these are kind of like muck it up games. While I think the Bengals are talented, they haven't shown the ability to throw the ball for a lot of yards yet. They've been able to control the clock, run the ball. The Jaguars also have been able to show that they could run the ball last week against the Cardinals. So So I think they'll be able to do some things there, keep the game close, Thursday night football, muck it up, and they could possibly win this game outright. So I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars as a like plus the 7.5 points. Yeah, for me. But I know stay away for Salman and Rome.
Yeah, it's a stay away for me. The only angle I would play on this would be Jaguars money line. I'm not laying 7.5. On a short week. I know they're at home, so I guess you get 2 for that in Cincinnati, if that. Their home field advantage isn't that great, but with a team after just being Pittsburgh, Thursday night out on the town, I'm pretty sure they'll have some nice, a nice number of fans in that stadium. Probably, I could imagine this would be the most fans they've had in that stadium in the last 3 years. Obviously, COVID last year, no fans in the stands. So big week for the Bengals. This is kind of one of those weeks where, they might be taken for real after this win. I understand it's the Jaguars, but big in-division win, and then you come back at home on a short week and get a win. That's worth something. So that line is very interesting, but I think that's 7.5. Obviously, we saw the look ahead at 6.5. Now it's at 7.5. It's obviously because they beat the Steelers on the road this past weekend. So I wouldn't be too afraid of laying that number if you do like the Bengals. But right here, like you said, this is kind of one of those spots where 0-3 team, 0-4 teams don't make the playoffs. We know that for a fact. So this is their last chance in terms of Jaguars motivation, max morale. This is probably the best morale you're going to get from the Jags this year thus far.
That's a huge if. If you like the Bengals, it's like, no, you don't like the Bengals. Nobody likes the Bengals.
But I think that number's that number for a reason. I mean, it's steep, but I mean, it's there. So I wouldn't, I don't think that's free points they're throwing you for the Jags. I think they're that bad. I think people think that the Bengals might be for real. They're already halfway to their season win total. So,
yep. And the Jaguars, the Jaguars 18-26-1 against the spread, non-division games last 4 years. But we know we got a lot of new things there. Let's go to the next game. Washington football team at the Falcons. It's pretty much a pick 'em right now. Maybe Washington football team -1 I see out there. But we got a like hits, a total of 49, but we got a like. Salman, you got a like here on the Washington football team?
Yeah, sadly, I like my team this week. As I said in week 1, I think I can probably predict their whole record week by week. So we'll start here. I think we'll get our second win here. We obviously got embarrassed last week, in which I knew we were going to do. These Falcons, they're really not putting up too much of any points or any offensive anything for that measure. Obviously, it took them a last-second field goal to win against the Giants. Pretty much torched us the week before. I think just judging how the Falcons played the Giants and how we played the Giants and all the talk that's coming out of Washington, obviously everyone's pissed off. My team is trash. Our defense sucks. But I think this could be a game that we get after this old quarterback, which is Rome's guy, Matt Ryan. I think we can get him, rattle him, and somehow put up some points against this Falcons team to win. Washington football team, Twitter, and the whole world is going crazy over Ron Rivera. They're calling for his head right now. I think this is a game. It just gets his guys back in check, hopefully, and just get a win on the road in Atlanta. And then it's a pick 'em. Like, I think, I'll take Washington to win this game if I have to pick. So,
all right. Love Washington. Rome, how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, so I just want to point out a stat here thus far through 3 weeks. Favorites of less than 2.5, they're 1-5 on the line in terms of covering. So, if the Washington football team is laying this one, which it seems it might be closing on Sunday, I would be hesitant to play that, specifically on a team that, hasn't shown any offensive life. And, a defense that was supposed to be, showing up, and they obviously haven't. And I think what's very important to note here is the total's 49. Last week on a short week, Washington football team had a lower total, but we also thought that was high, and that game goes over. So with the total at 49 and a defense that hasn't been showing up and a Falcons offense that seems like they want to catch a stride this week at home, I think what we saw last weekend with the Falcons in New York was defense. I think it wasn't necessarily, when we see low scoring games, they're quick to say it's a defensive game. I don't think it was that. I think it was a lot of miscommunication in terms of Matt Ryan and a lot of Cordell Patterson having to make some things happen late in that ball game. But they simply just don't have playmakers on the outside and skilled players that are producing right now. We know Kyle Pitts, we know Calvin Ridley, but they're just not getting involved under that new Arthur Smith offense. But, with this total at 49, I would be looking to play this over simply because of that number. That number is pretty high. As I said, going back to these points I just said, for two offenses that hasn't been able to get going. So somebody knows something here with that total at 49. Like I said, Washington football team game was over last week. And, they found a way to put up points. It was ugly. They still lose. Giants cover. I'm sorry. But
Bills cover.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going back to the short week that they had. Obviously, the Bills, they only, they get routed up there in Buffalo. But I'm more so going back to that short week against the Giants in which the total was low. They had a short week, and that game still goes over. So here you go, full week. Get embarrassed in Buffalo, back on the road again this week, and here's another high total. A team that only scored, what was it, 17 points, 14 points this past weekend?
17.
So, I mean, for a total at 49 and a Falcons team that scored, 17 points as well in a win this week?
Right.
So that they collectively score, what's that, 34 points?
Yep.
And here we are, week 4, and now the total's 49. So I would be looking to play this over. I just want to watch this number as the week progresses, but I thought that was eye-popping out for this game.
All right, Keith, what do you think about this game? Washington football team at the Falcons, about a pick 'em, total 49.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons here. It's a little more. I feel like I definitely echo a lot of Rome sentiments in terms of I've definitely been where I'm not sharp this year. I feel like I've been getting burned at those games where there's a very low fave. You know what I mean? It honestly could go either way, and it's just not been going that way. And I think it's because I do have the tendency to ride with, what is perceived to be the better team. Vegas is probably usually right with that. That's why they're the favorite. And then they're just not been covering it of late. So I don't understand why. Honestly, these are two bad teams. How bad they are is literally, it depends on who they're playing that week. They happen to be playing each other, who are two bad teams. I'm gonna go with the hotter team at home right now to cover the 1 point. Probably win outright, honestly.
And I wanted to piggyback on what you just said, because these low spreads, like I said, they're 1-5 favorites under 2.5. But as you said, Vegas seems to think, the line is a line for a reason, right? These teams are laying points for a reason. But Vegas is also talking about sharps in Vegas are also talking about how this home field advantage isn't a true 3 anymore. Teams that are going on the road, they're finding ways to find success, cover, win outright as dogs. And so now it's making the sharps think, maybe home field advantage isn't worth 3. And if that's the case with a line at Pick'em, this line would say Falcons get 2 at home. I've been in that dome. That's not worth 2 on, in the Mercedes-Benz dome. It's simply not. They're very iffy, and especially with the roster they have this year, they're not packing that dome. So why are they worth 2 if that on a line? This line obviously says at Pick'em, Washington football team is the better team on paper, but I would just be cautious to note that you can't just give 3 to every team being at home. So I think this line is a little closer than it usually is, or it would, come off to be if you're automatically adding 3 to the home favorite for that home field advantage.
Yep. For me, I'm just going to lean with the Washington football team here with the pick 'em. I just think the Washington football team, they are the better collective team right now. I think Matt Ryan is kind of done. I don't want to be that guy, but yeah, he's kind of done. So the offensive, the passing game is just not there right now. They got a lot to just grow with there. They got no backup plan either. Them and the Steelers are kind of similar to me. I know we'll get to the Steelers a little later, but I just lean with the Washington football team here. A lot of defense, but it was possible. It was really going to be a like for me. But the Washington football team on defense right now is just crazy bad. Third down percentage on defense, they're giving up 58% on third downs, which is 31st in the league. I cannot back a team like that. So it's just a lean with me. But I think they'll beat these Falcons, who are just unimpressive on offense, and that's all they got right now is offense, and they can't do anything with it because of their quarterback. So I'm gonna lean with the Washington football team, minus the point or whatever. Pick them. The next game is Texans at Bills. Couple stayaways. I just see with a lean with Soundman, and I see a lean with Keith as well. A lean with me. I just feel like we can skip this game. I'm not gonna hold you. We can skip this game.
Mine is 17.5. I don't think either of us want to lay that. So I also would not. It would not be wise to put Bills money line on your parlay tickets. I know a lot of you guys like doing money line parlays.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy.
It would not be wise to put the Bills money line on your ticket. It is more of a liability than it will be a payout for you. They're laying 17.5. That means that line, that money line is probably going to be somewhere north of.
It's ridiculous. Don't do that. Like literally, let's just tell them, do not put the Bills money line on your parlay
ticket. It is more of a liability than it is helpful on your payout.
They would not be on our square money line parlay this week. That would not happen. All right, next game, Lions at the Bears. Bears favored by 3. Total is 44. I will start with me. I got a like here with the Lions plus the 3 points. In fact, this might be like a best bet that I'm just stamping right now here, September 28th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with this Lions team, I think they've been so competitive these 3 weeks that they played. When we looked at them against Green Bay, that Monday Night Football, everybody just kind of like, oh, they kind of got blown out if you went to sleep, but they kept that competitive. First half, they had the lead. The coach there, Dan Campbell, has done a pretty good job of just getting the culture right because they were really bad there with Matt Patricia. The Lions were. I'm pretty high on them, just as fact that, what they want to do as far as getting the ball to the tight ends, multiple running backs, just the ways to move the ball downfield. And I like the way they played against a Ravens team that I stayed away from totally. I didn't tease the Ravens last week. I didn't play them straight. I didn't want any parts of that game because it was a letdown spot for the Ravens. And I think we all know that. We all figure that. But this week, the Lions are going against a Bears team that is inept at quarterback right now with Justin Fields. I'm sorry. If we're talking long-term projection, that's a different story. But we're talking week 4 in the NFL right now. I don't see it. He has a lot to grow from. Andy Dalton's not going to be ready from what I hear. And yes, I hear it. Like I'm really hearing that he's not going to be ready. So I expect Justin Fields to play this game. And then last point is Justin Fields, when we talk about it, really can't throw right now. See the field well. When we talk about quarterback in the pocket, we get that Rome. Shout out to Rome, our high school quarterback. We always go to him for the quarterback analysis. But when we talk about, but Justin Fields can run. The Lions just played the best running quarterback we've seen maybe ever and covered the spread, almost won that game, 2 points. And now you're giving me maybe a fourth of that in Justin Fields, rookie quarterback, in a worse coach. I'm going to take the Lions here, plus 3. Best bet for me, 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. Rome, how do you feel about this game?
Love this game. Love the Lions here. And just for full disclosure, I was all over the Lions last week because of everything you said. Let down week for the Ravens after the biggest win in franchise history in a couple years. And then, you get Lamar Jackson at home, and we saw what they did. Catching 7.5, they cover outright. And, it's a shame how they lost that game in, classic Lions fashion. So here we go this week. Going back to my point about home field advantage, line is 3. Maybe, 5 or 6 years ago, we would have said this means these two teams are even, right? Home team laying 3. We would say these two teams are even. But like I said, just a couple minutes ago, you can't give everyone 3 points for simply being at home nowadays. And right now, I wouldn't say Soldier Field is a 3-point home field advantage. I mean, I guess you could say it is in late November when the team is fighting for playoff contention and the wind is coming off that water crazy. But this isn't that. This is a Bears offense that we've already, explained has been inept and hasn't been able to score points or move the football productively. And with the line at 3, I'm willing to say the Lions are the better team here. So I love the Lions this week. Like we said, they had the lead in Lambeau at halftime. Last week, they were all in that game. In week 1, they, nearly covered that line of 8, depending on where you caught it, against the 49ers at home. They have no quit in them. DeAndre Swift has been the best playmaker right now, I would say, in terms of running back in that division thus far, that including Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones. I think he is the MVP of that team. I think Jared Goff simply has to play point guard. We know Jared Goff outside on the road is always something we're hesitant about. But I think this Lions team, with the line being the line, Vegas obviously knows that as well. I like the Lions this week catching the 3. Also like them on the money line.
All right, Keith, how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, this was the closest thing to like a bona fide like to me coming into it. I mean, my analysis of this is not like geological, like deep. Like it's like the Bears are terrible. I'm expecting Fields to start again. They literally had 1 passing yard last week when you factor in sack yardage and all that. And like you said, you started with the Lions have been. I don't even know if they don't have a win yet, right?
No, they don't.
No,
They
they're
don't.
Right, they don't have a
It
win
feels
yet.
like they do. They got some
You
more
could've
wins.
fooled me. Literally
Come
every
on.
week is like, wow, these Lions, huh? Every single week. And I think they've been playing pretty good teams, and that's why they've been getting treated like that. This is probably by far the worst team they're gonna play this week. This so far this year, and I don't understand how the Bears are favored by 3 points. Honestly, this feels more like the line should be closer to where that Washington football team Falcons line is. So
And I expect this line to close near, obviously I don't expect it to close at 3. And then I also just want to point out the fact that the Lions, I would say, after 3 weeks, have played the hardest schedule in pro football. The 49ers, the
it feels
Packers,
like
and the Ravens.
And 2-1 against the spread.
And
It
2-1
feels
against
like
the spread. And here they are going against one of the worst teams in pro football and a coach that's on the hottest seat in pro football right now, that being Matt Nagy. I love the Lions this week on the road.
yeah. The only thing that gives me worry is that we all love it.
All right, you're right. Sound man, talk to us. How do you feel about this game, Lions at the Bears?
Yeah, so exactly to what Keith's last point is where I'm at. We all and it's kind of putting fear in me. This is definitely potential Soundman special. I think if you've been watching this show for I guess the first however many weeks, I'm a huge Motor City Dan Campbell guy. Motor City Dan Campbell's got these Lions fighting. We've all seen it since week 1. If the refs call the delay a game, these guys have a win against the Ravens last week, but they didn't. But they played a hell of a game last week, man. And you're coming off of that, and you're playing this Bears team that's just like limping into a game. Like they just look bad, and we knew the Bears were going to look bad, and we thought this guy Fields was going to be the savior. Obviously, it's only week 4, but he just hasn't shown anything yet. The Lions are just playing way better football, way more inspired football than the Bears right now. I love the Lions right here. Potential Soundman special, but since we all love it, I probably won't make this Soundman special. But I love the Lions here, man.
Another angle I like in this game, Bears total team under, and probably the full game under on this game as well. Total's at 44. I don't think it goes any higher than that. And so I like 3 angles on this. Lions, money line, Lions catching 3, which I don't think it'll close at. I think if you like the Lions now, you play it.
Yep.
And Bears total team under when that drops Friday night, Saturday morning. And I think you go from there on this game.
Yep. And I want to point out the Bears are 8-13 against the spread after a loss under head coach Matt Nagy. So
Is that
it gets
good?
bad, starts to get really bad. 8-7 against the spread is a home fave. So maybe that'll work out for any Bears backers. Next game, Panthers, undefeated Panthers at the Cowboys. Minus Cowboys favored by 5 points, total of 50. Salman, I'm actually start with you here. How do you feel about this game?
I actually stayed away from this game.
Oh, you stayed away. I'm sorry, I missed that. All right, Ron, what do you got for me?
I think it's interesting to note this total's at 50. I don't think it closes at 50. Cowboys, Eagles the other night, total closed at 51.5. We would expect Panthers offense to be better than the Eagles offense. And you obviously get the constant of the Cowboys offense here. So I'm just, I'm eyeing that total and it's just not making sense to me at 50. Cowboys offense obviously showed up the other night in prime time, first home opener, but I don't think they went against, a Panthers type offense. Panthers offenses look very good thus far this year under Joe Brady. And all of that said, that's why this total worries me. An Eagles offense that wasn't as good, and now a Panthers offense that we would say is top 10 thus far, and the total is lower than it was last week in the same building.
I think because the one thing you haven't talked about yet is the defense. For both teams have been playing extremely well this year.
Do we think what we saw the other night from the Cowboys was what do we think?
I do not. I think that was Hurts. I think that was
bad Eagles offense more than was good good Cowboys defense.
Yeah, likewise. I agree.
Home opener, juiced up, crowd behind you.
They've held opponents under 20 points a game. The only week they didn't, they played Tom Brady. So I got to see
that one more time. Repeat that one more time.
I said 2 weeks in a row. The last 2 weeks they've held their opponent under 20 points. And it's been like 17 or 18 both games.
And that would fit perfectly with this total being at 50. Obviously, they're laying 4.5. That's more than they were laying against the Eagles. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense with the total. Because if they do hold them under 20, I don't expect the Cowboys to score 30. So, Yeah, that'd be interesting. I just got to watch this line a little bit more. I want nothing to do with the sides. This is going to be a play on the total for
To me, the total says that only one of these defenses have to be for real.
Yeah.
Fair
I mean,
point.
Key, so how do you feel about this game?
I kind of like the Panthers here. For the simple fact
Is
that
it like?
yeah, I'm gonna boost this one to a like because I feel like you guys might have swayed me on this one. I was definitely leaning Panthers all the way. I'm in on the Panthers this year. I like what they're doing. I don't know if what was the look ahead on this one. I definitely don't know. McCaffrey didn't change the line, but if he did, I like it even more. I think these teams are closer to even. Honestly, the -5 is honestly what the number is. If it was a pick 'em, I would have a hard trouble. Like pick 'em on a neutral, I would have very hard trouble picking a game. But I'm just gonna take I think they're pretty even teams, pretty similarly built. Honestly, they both like to establish the run. They're hoping their defenses are for real. I'm gonna take the team to cover the 5 points here.
Yeah, I'm with you, Keys, on here. Obviously, if anybody out there, total disclaimer, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, but I like the Panthers this week. And I'm starting to be able to like this team because we got a really good fucking coach. Matt Rule against the spread is an underdog, 9-4 in the NFL as a head coach. So that's since last year, 9-4 against the spread in the NFL as an underdog. We talk about college and the NFL. He is 40 wins and 13 losses against the spread. Matt Rule is as an underdog. That's pretty fucking good, Rome. And then we got the Cowboys. I'll talk about that. It is a lot of juice. This line probably going to get up to fucking 5.5, maybe almost 6. Because we talk about the Cowboys who just came off that big primetime game, looked incredible against a bad Eagles offense who only ran the ball with a running back 2 to 3 times.
Didn't run the ball for a running back until the middle of the second quarter.
It was inexcusable, honestly. Like it looked like a sabotage job, honestly. But
that's what happens when you got an offensive, these new offensive coaches that think they're offensive wizards that love passing the ball. Obviously, in this modern day football era, they forget that running the ball works. Sean McVay got away from that in that one bad year that the Rams had a couple years ago. Now you see that he's back to it because he realizes that you can call up all the plays you want, you can draw up all the plays you want, but you have to run the football successfully. You have to. Good teams run the football when they want to and pass the football when they have to.
Yeah.
And
so when we talk about the Cowboys, I mean, I just think that, there's going to be hype around that. Look, they just looked incredible against a bad offense and a young coach and a young quarterback. And then when we talk about the Cowboys, they're the Lakers, they're the Yankees, they're the Texans. They're going to get steam on this line. I think it's going to go up to 5.5. So I don't know if you want to bet it just yet, but I love this Panthers team. First time since probably 2015, I've loved the team. And it's just they're going to be dominant against the on a defensive line. And the Cowboys, what I'm really concerned about is their defense. I think that they haven't really shown it. And I got Matt Rule. I got a really good coach against a Cowboys coach who isn't good at all, in my opinion.
Terrible game management, terrible clock management.
Yeah, Peyton. Look, we gotta plug some Peyton Manning yelling at Mike McCarthy here, but that's how I feel about it.
Gotta call the timeout.
You have to call the timeout right there. 4th and 5. You make them make the decision. You don't. It's just bad.
So little stuff like that is just like, yo, I'm gonna back the coach who's better here. A team who I think these are about, possibly even teams. I think the Cowboys are better offensively. Carolina's better defensively. And you're giving me almost a touchdown. Wait till it gets to 5.5. But I like the Panthers here. Plus the 5.5.
Love teaser action on the Panthers as well.
You're right. Okay, Rome was already on it. He's going to hit his teaser this week. All right, next game. Colts, the fucking Colts. I gave out the Colts plus the points this past week. Didn't do me right. Colts at the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 1.5, 1.5 points. Total is 43. Rome, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think about this game?
This is a Colts game. This is going to be one of those muck it up AFC games where offenses don't get going, and you see the Colts trying to run the ball to no avail, and then you find the Dolphins offense under Jacoby Brissett that's just going to be all over the place again. He played his ass off this past weekend in Vegas, by the way. He was not the reason they lost that football game.
Yep.
John Gruden is just a hell of a play call, and he drew it up against them. So, let's talk about this Colts team that We all expected to be competing with the Titans for that division. And, obviously this past weekend, it doesn't work out for them. They're on the road for the second week in a row. And this is a team that's well coached. I like Frank Wright as a coach. I think, he's competent. We get Carson Wentz 1 week better with those ankles. Who knows what that means? But this is it for them. They're in the same predicament as the Lions, as these other Washington football teams, as these winless teams. So for all the winless teams thus far, this team, we would say, is the best of them. And for all the teams that have a win thus far, we would say the Dolphins might possibly be the worst of them, other than the Houston Texans. So here we are, Dolphins laying 1.5, going right back to my point of home field advantage. Hard Rock Stadium does not bode 3 points on the home field. It might get 1.5. And that's because of the humidity of South Florida. It's not because of the Dolphins Stadium and their Rockets fans. So Colts on a neutral. This line's 1.5 Dolphins right now. Colts on a neutral is the better team. I believe that wholeheartedly. I think this Dolphins defense has not really been what we all expected it to be. Last year, that's what carried this team. Obviously, we know it wasn't Tua in the offense. And this year, it seems to be the same thing. However, the reason I think they're losing is because the offense hasn't gotten better and the defense has taken a step back. So give me the offensive coach and Frank Wright being able to draw up some plays and scheme up some things. And then you also got to have the factor of Jacoby Brissett playing against a former team, that being the Colts. And I think they have the edge on understanding what he likes to do and his comfortability. Obviously, he wasn't the starter there, and they didn't trust him to be the starter. They go out and get Phillip Rivers, and they ship him off the year later. So they know what they have in Jacoby Brissett and what they're facing this week. And then you got Brian Flores, a guy who I would say is on one of the hotter seats in pro football that a lot of people aren't recognizing right now. He's in year 3, and if he takes a step back this year, it's over for him. He can head back to New England and coach under Bill. So this is a Dolphins team that has more pressure, I think, in terms of coaching staff and in terms of players. I think this is a Colts team that has more pressure on them, but I think the talent lies on their side. So give me the offensive coach and Frank Wright. I like the Colts, on the money line here. And this goes back to my point. Favorites of under 2.5 thus far this year are 1-5 on the line. Dolphins are laying 1.5. Give me the Colts.
All right, Keith, I know this is a stay away for you. I got to lean with the Dolphins, but Rome, I did want to piggyback on your point. Our friend from Paris just chimed in, but we talk about the Dolphins defense, the running backs. Week 1, Damian Harris, 23 carries, 100 yards. Devin Singletary, 13 carries, 82 yards, touchdown.
That's a Bills team that doesn't run the ball, Devin Singletary.
Correct. So and then we got last week, Peyton Barber, 23 rushes, 111 yards, and a tug. So, yeah, Dolphins defense. But for me, I just lean with the Dolphins here. Just because I was with the Colts. I was on the Colts last weekend and watching Carson Wentz play. He's not healthy. He can't move back there if you blitz him. It's a really sad sight to see. They should have covered that game. Like, I have no doubts in my mind that I was on the right side, but the quarterback play was just extremely subpar. Cannot back this guy, so I'm gonna just lean with the Dolphins. I got a more competent quarterback, I feel, in Jacoby Brissett, and I have a coach that's 11-6 against the spread as a home team. 12-5 against the spread after loss, covered last week against the Raiders. I'm gonna just lean with the Dolphins.
Let me speak to that 11-5 spread that Brian Flores has covered thus far. I would go on a limb and say 80% of those games he was catching points. So
fair enough.
The Dolphins came out of nowhere last year. No one was big on the Dolphins last year. So
right.
A lot of those games early in the year they were catching points and they did cover. And here they're laying points at home. So right. I'm not too big on that 11-5 Brian Flores ATS stat. So that's just that on that.
All right. Salman, how do you feel about this game?
Before I get into it, I want to say I know the prop god is watching. These Dolphins have 25 straight games with a turnover. I wonder if he thinks they're going to have 26. I think that's a good prop to probably play
if you can find
this Sunday. Yeah, if you can find it.
You can find it.
Second potential Soundman special here. I love the Colts here. I hate agreeing with Rome because I don't think me and Rome are ever on the same side, and it works out in our favor. But the points that he pointed out are basically my feelings towards this game. I think this is a Colts game this week. They've been looking pretty bad. They were supposed to be, the better team in that, not the better team, but the second best team in that division. They haven't really showed up at all. Obviously, the injuries are playing a factor. But I really don't like the Dolphins and what I've seen with them at all this season, regardless of Tua being there or not. Granted, this guy, Jacoby, did play his ass off, like Rome said. That was my second point. But the third point to that is the fact that Jacoby was a Colt at one point. They know what he wants to do. I think the Colts come into Miami and they win this game outright. So this is the second potential Soundman special here. Colts money line. I love it.
All right, sound man. Now let's get into the third potential sound man special.
Absolutely.
Browns at the Vikings. Looks like the Browns are at this point favored by a point and a half. Total is 52
This
and a
line
half.
stinks.
Sound man, I'm right back at you though. How do you feel
So
about
I'm gonna say this is the third potential sound man special. I'm feeling froggy right here. I don't know about these Vikings.
that? Froggy, is that a thing?
Yeah, I'm feeling froggy right here. I don't know about these Vikings. I was in the group text. I was just like, yo, are the Seahawks good? Are the Vikings bad? Like, like early in the game, I lined early. These Vikings have I don't know what to get from these Lions. And I think these guys can prove me wrong into them being like a bad team and beating a better team this week, as in the Browns. I really don't have too much for the game, but I just think the Vikings can just pull out a win at home over these Browns. So I think this is a potential upset here. I like the dog factor for them here. This is the third potential Soundman special here. We're going to figure it out by the time it comes for me to, give out a Soundman special, but I kind of like the Vikings in this spot here.
All right, Rome, how do you feel about this game? Browns, it looks like laying about a point and a half.
I'm just going to watch this line as the week goes on. I don't really have a side on this. Just want to point out Kirk Cousins is not the reason the Vikings are playing, I would say, subpar this year. That guy is playing his ass off at quarterback.
Ooh, look at Sound Man face.
Sadly, he's having a hell of a year this year. Sadly.
Playing ball. Kirk Cousins is dealing right now, and he's
Playing
not the
great
reason they're looking subpar. So I don't, we love Mike Zimmer. That's our bestie. I don't know if we like him right here just because we're not really catching points, and it's a pick 'em game. But I will say this line stinks. And if there's any side that I will play or tease up, it will be the Vikings. Nothing as of Tuesday night for this game, though.
All right, Keith, what do you think about this game? Papa Keith.
Basically, retweet Rome. I gotta lean with the Vikings here. For the simple fact that I just hate the Browns. Like, if I can conceive of a way in which, oh yeah, the Browns don't cover, I like that, because I'm just not a believer in the Browns. I still don't think they've ever done anything that make you super believe. Every time I tune in and watch, I just see them shooting themselves in the foot every week. And like you said, Mike Zimmer's the bestie, so I got to lean with the Vikings here.
All right. I actually just went from a lean to a like with the Vikings. Is that my bestie in the testing? Come on, Mike Zimmer. I'm going to roll with you, big dog. If the Browns are laying points at this point, they weren't, they haven't been, they've been playing their game. I'm surprised none of you have mentioned this, but Kevin Stefanski is the sensei, the pupil, if you will. He came up under Mike Zimmer and the Kubiak. He came up under all of that with the Vikings, got a job in, the Browns with the Browns. I just think this Vikings offensive line has been extremely improved, and it speaks
really
to
good.
Kirk Cousins, and it speaks to Kirk Cousins' success this year.
Yes.
And we talk about the Browns, and we listen, Soundman, we talk about fat and happy all the time. Browns, you come off a blowout win like that, you get all these sacks, it's all good. 4.5 for Myles Garrett. We're on top of the world. Travel to Minnesota. Vikings are still hungry, under 500, 2-1 against the spread, but under 500. So I just think when I got a team that's my bestie in a testy, Mike Zimmer, 19-10 against the spread, versus the AFC, 36-22 against the spread as a home team. The Vikings are under Mike Zimmer. I'm gonna back my guy here. Take the teacher over the pupil and Stefanski. I might even play an adjusted spread here and take the Vikings minus maybe 3, 2.5 to 3
love
points.
That alternative spread on the Vikings. Yeah. And then it'll probably, with this line at 1, it'll probably be Vikings laying 3.5 at plus 225-ish. I love that play too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And can the Browns score with the Vikings at this point? One receiver.
I don't know if they can, because we go back to, is Jarvis Landry going to be available?
Nope, just one receiver. Odell.
So, you got Odell Beckham. We obviously know about the best offensive line, I think, probably in pro football in terms of running the ball and the two-headed monster that they have in the backfield. But like you said, these are 2 weeks that they've gotten fat and happy off bad teams. Houston Texans, Chicago Bears. So here they are playing a very hungry team, and I'm not just going to repeat what you said, but this is a Vikings offense that's found their stride, specifically in the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, they scored 31 in the desert out there in Arizona. And then this week, they had no problem scoring points at home. So
in the second half, they were fucking amazing. Outscored the Seahawks 23-0. Had nothing. Knew exactly to keep Russell Wilson off the field. We're gonna take this ball, go 7, 8, 9 minutes, and we're gonna win this ball game. And they did it. I think they're getting better by the week. So
side note on that game. If you had the over on that game, you're sick. I know you're sick to your stomach because that game had, what was it, 28-ish points in the first half?
Yeah, it was a lot of fucking points to score in the first half.
And then just no points. You're begging for points if you had that over in the second half. That game
was about 13 in the second half.
13 points in the second half, just sick. So yeah. I like the Vikings here. They obviously showed to be competent on offense this year, like I said, and I think that defense will find a way. I think the defense here, what the Browns' offensive scheme plays into what the Vikings like to do this week. So I think that'll be good for them because I don't think Baker Mayfield has too many full field reads, and I think Mike Zimmer will be able to confuse him with a couple blitz packages. So
right. All right, next game. I thought that was some great handicapping by everyone there, guys. Next game, Giants at the Saints. Saints favored by 8 at this point, total 43.5. Rome, stay away for you. I'll start with me. I just lean on the Giants here, just blindly. I know they're OD against the spread as a road team, 12-5 against the spread. I think Saints laying over a touchdown. This is going to be their first game back though, in the dome, so that's something to worry about. But when you got over a touchdown and a team that hasn't gotten many passing yards, they want to run the ball a little more. And the Giants' run defense is pretty good. Blake Martinez though done for the year, so I'm gonna just lean with the Giants here. But I'm not betting this game either way. Keith, how you feel about this one?
I feel like at first I was leaning towards the Saints, but honestly, I don't know. -8 with the total being so low, I don't know how you could lay that many points. Unless you just you just don't expect the Giants.
Unless it's a Broncos Jets repeat.
Yeah, which honestly I could see, but I wouldn't say I'm liking betting on that. If I had to bet on something, I would bet that the Giants would be an NFL football team because that's what they're supposed to be. And then and they cover that 8 points. But honestly, on paper, it's a lean with the Saints for me because obviously they're a much better team than the Giants.
Yeah,
Blake Martinez is out. They're gonna run the ball on him, like you said. It's a lean with the Saints.
All right, Salman, what do you think about this game?
Very simple for me. I was piggybacking off of you. Obviously, you've talked about the Giants on the road stats since last season, and I really don't have much for these teams. I don't know what to make out of the Saints personally, and obviously, I got no love for the Giants because they're NFC East. So I'm just gonna lean with the Giants here because of the on the road. Against the spread,
and they're winless, right? Backs against the wall.
You might need a win, but
yeah, I'd be close 24-20. I don't know, but yeah, I just lean with the Giants. All right,
kind of a correlation on what we're about to speak on the next game. Just to speak about the Saints' offense thus far, they still don't know what they want to do. They don't know what they want to do offensively in terms of what their identity will be. Like I said, this kind of correlates with what's going on in the next game we're about to handicap. Derrick Henry has more receptions this year than Alvin Kamara, and so we know how important Alvin Kamara is to that offense, specifically in the screen game and in the pass game. They haven't been using him, and they don't have weapons on the outside that justify not using him as they should be. So this Saints team is all over. You're calling in Taysom Hill in the red zone, still running that QB read. They don't know who they want to be yet, and I think this is a perfect spot for them to think that they have it figured out. But this Giants defense, as we've mentioned, top 10 last year, and they're better. They're not you look at the Giants team, you say, okay, they're bad. They're not bad on defense. They were top 10 defense last year, and they've been proven competent to stay that way this year. Last week, holding the Falcons to 17 points. And, so I look to play the Giants here if this line gets any steeper. But the look ahead was 8, now down. Look ahead was 8.5, now down to 8. Obviously, that's money in on the Giants. So just want to keep an eye on that and just wanted to point that out. They don't know who they are on offense, that being the Saints.
Isn't Sean Payton your guy?
Sean Payton is my guy schematically, and that's why they've been able to limp towards these couple wins that they had.
What's he doing?
But I just don't think he knows what he's comfortable with calling with Jameis Winston in the pocket. I think he's been very conservative with Jameis. But how about this? To speak to that point, why aren't you using your running back more if that's the case? If you're that conservative with Jameis Winston, and we saw what he was doing in the preseason, airing it out, this and that, third, they haven't been doing that this year. So if you're that conservative with your quarterback and you don't trust him, why aren't you giving your running back, your best player on offense, probably your best player on the team, more touches? So that, like I said, it goes back to the point. They don't know who they want to be, and it's a lot of confusion right now in New Orleans. First week home in maybe a month. So maybe some distractions there with off the field type of things. So I don't want no parts of the Saints this week.
All right, let's get into the next game. Oh, before that, Saints under head coach Sean Payton, 58-56-1 against the spread as a home favorite. So something to look at. Titans at the Jets. Titans favored by 7.5, total 46. Stay away from me. Don't want to fuck with the Titans. Don't want to fuck with the Jets. Keith, how you feel about this one?
I got a like on the Titans here. And it's randomly because of Rome's analysis of the last game. You talk about teams who don't know who they are. I think we got teams who know exactly who they are on both sides of this here. The Jets know exactly who they are. The Titans know exactly who they are. And they're coming in here a little banged up. I know A.J. Brown's probably not going to play. He sat out the rest of the game. I don't know how severe that is yet. But, I mean, when you sit out the whole game for a hamstring, just hammy in general, I expect you to miss at least 1 week just to, you know what I mean, precautionary. I'm hearing that Julio's also banged up. But like I said, they're a team who knows exactly who they are. They have probably 1, 2, 3 best players on the game out there. Derrick Henry, I feel like he's going to have his way. This Titans team has already had their punch in the mouth this season. They're looking at this. I think this team, as a team with possibly Super Bowl aspirations, they're looking at this part of the schedule as we have to get it done. They have this game, a couple more gimmies if I look at the schedule.
Yeah, they got like a top 3 easiest schedule.
Yeah, they got this game, the Jaguars, but then they get the Bills and the Chiefs back to back, and then in a couple weeks after that, the Rams. So as a team that's already took that big L to the Cardinals, I don't think they're looking at this as I don't think they're looking past the Jets. I think this is definitely business. They need to show up. I don't think this is a game where they slip up.
All right, good points made. Salman, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I love the Titans here. A lot of the same sentiments that Keisha said. It's only a 7.5 point game here. The Jets scored 20 points in 3 games. And I think that's where I just start. Yeah, that's where I start and end this at. Titans are obviously the better team. I think if you had all your players out there, I didn't know Julio was supposed to be banged up as well, but I think if Julio was playing, obviously AJ's out. But I think if you have both of them playing with Henry as well, this is like a super get-right game for your offense. It's just go out there and torture the defense. But even though those guys, obviously AJ not going to be out, probably Julio going to be out there. But, like, those guys are going to go out there with the Henry, and they're going to get right on the offense. I think this is let's kind of, like, work out the kinks right here with the Jets. This guy, Zach Wilson, Rome, I don't know about him, guy. You know what I mean? He's seeing ghosts back there. But, yeah.
He'll be fine.
In like week 12 or something, but 7.5 here is not for the Titans. I love the Titans here, man. Give me the Titans.
All right, Rome, how do you feel about this game? Titans favored by 7.5 at the Jets, total 46.
Jets are 0-3 against the spread ATS. You guys know that I love fading trends. They got to cover some week. So it starts this week. I'll continue to stay on the Jets at 7.5. It's the same 7.5 that I caught with the Lions this past week against the Ravens. It's the Titans team that obviously got the win last week in division. Here they go on the road, underestimating the Jets. I'll continue to play the Jets until they cover.
Pause, Rome. At what point does something become a trend? Because I feel like 2 times is just it happened. Like is A or B. Something has
to happen 3 times. They haven't covered a game yet this year. The Jets.
That's a trend.
What's that?
I'm asking 3 times is a trend.
I would say so. I mean, they're not gonna not cover for 15 more weeks.
I think for covering, yeah, I think it is, considering that the line will move some because the team just cannot cover, or a team that continues to cover, like we've seen, with the Chiefs early in their success, the line started to move. So
if the Jets are this bad as we think they are, or as consensus think they are, this line should be steeper.
No,
listen,
Ron.
That's why I love the Titans. That's why I love the Titans.
I agree with you, Ron. I was kind of like, I was a little wary, but I don't want to. I mean, Titans.
I'm fine. I like the Jets here. No need to tease them up. Like them on the regular line. I'll continue to back them. I know they didn't score anything in Denver last week. We saw what they did in the week prior to New England. But I mean, I'll continue to back them. How about this? Rookie quarterbacks, 1-10 ATS thus far this year. The only cover was Mac Jones against these Jets. So quarterbacks this year in the rookie class simply aren't good. They aren't, obviously aren't producing. So I'm not really too worried about hearing that Zach Wilson isn't playing great. None of these guys are playing great in terms of rookies. I'll continue to back my guy in Zach Wilson at home. He knows he played poor in the past 2 weeks. They need points. Give me the Jets, 7.5 at home, right back at the well.
Yeah, that's why I was a little bit of stay away from. I mean, why I was a stay away from me.
That line's too low. Too low
for me. But the Jets, 15-10 against the spread as a home dog last 4 years. So
pretty good.
Might be something in that building. Titans 5-7 against the spread as a roll fave.
That's
under head coach Mike Vrabel. Yes, that is under 500. All right, next game, the Chiefs -6 at the Eagles, total of 55. Roman, right back at you. What do you think about this game?
Chiefs, total team over. Nothing else on this game. Chiefs are back. Offense are back. They understand. They now finally understand urgency. Okay, so this is a team that's lost 2 weeks in a row. That hasn't happened going back to 2015? Andy Reid, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Andy Reid hospitalized after the game on Sunday. He couldn't believe what's going on. So, I wouldn't expect anything less than the Chiefs showing up and showing out this week. The Chiefs total team over. That line will probably be at 55. Totals at 55. That line's going to be around 31.5 on the road. So very steep. Eagles defense, that being the defensive line. What's my guy's name? Brandon Graham, I want to say 55.
Graham, yep, out for the year.
He's out for the year, so we don't have to really worry about pass rush. We
Cox had an injury the other night as well. I don't know how he's going to. I don't think he returned to the game.
Correct. And then we saw what happened to Darius Slay this past weekend in that back end secondary. The Eagles haven't addressed that this year, and the Cowboys were able to shred them up. So I would expect them, an upset Chiefs team and Patrick Mahomes being able to go on the road here and find some points. So give me the Chiefs total team over and nothing else in this game. I might even lay the 6, just depending on where this line goes, but I think it goes up. Look, it was 6. It's still sitting at 6. It's not going down. If it would have went down, it would have opened and it would have went down. So hesitancy on Jalen Hurts, obviously. And so I lean Chiefs, like their total team over. I will play that right when that drops. Going right back to the well because that was one of my best bets last week. Doesn't cover. Coming right back at it this week.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to like the Chiefs in this game. I guess they got to cover. But at the 6, not at the 7. Can't do it at the 7. But I just think the Chiefs are just better than the Eagles from the top to, even with the bad Chiefs defense. I don't think the Eagles, I don't know. I mean, their coach, do they have it in them to run the ball? It was disgusting. You know what? I'll just lean with the Chiefs now that I think about it, because maybe I'm getting drawn into like a public fan. Eagles look so fucking awful Monday Night Football kind of thing. But I just think the Eagles, I mean, they got, I don't know if they're balanced enough. I don't know if they got the smarts up there. Chiefs are hungry, so -6. I'll lean with the Chiefs.
And to your point of being a public fan, I mean, every time you bet the Chiefs, you're on the public side.
Yeah, for sure.
So that shouldn't worry you if you're betting Chiefs. If you like the Chiefs, play the damn Chiefs. 1-15 against the spread. I always talk about how I like fading trends. They got to cover someday. Give me that 6 on the road. Looking to play it.
Yeah, Salman, how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, allegedly the Chiefs have to cover someday, and they haven't been doing it. I'm going to keep riding the trend of them not covering. They screwed me last week.
Let me get a chicken sandwich bet on that.
Is it a like?
I'm not. No. I do not.
Hey, try to sneak the
Slow-
chicken sandwich.
Slow down. Slow down.
Those Eagles. I get a chicken sandwich bet.
Listen, after what I seen, like the despair on Jalen Hurts' face last night, I cannot like the Eagles at all. This is really me against the Chiefs at this point, off my keys. I'm just not feeling the Chiefs. I have faded the Chiefs every single week we've been on here, and I've been right every single time besides last week. So I'm not about to go on the Chiefs side this week as well. I'm going to lean the Eagles here just for them to cover the spread. I don't have nothing for the Chiefs. I'm sick of them.
So he faded the Chiefs 2 times now. Well, it's 3 now. 3 now. 3 now.
Yeah.
All right,
now you're all of a sudden sick of them. Oh my God.
Bro, I'm sick of them, bro. 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying? This is the first time since 2015 they've been under 500. So, I mean, obviously their backs against the wall in their minds. You know, they might want to go out and win, but I'm sick and tired of them not covering. I'm not right.
0-3 ATS, just as good as the Jets are ATS.
Hey,
All right, Keys. It looks like you lean with the Chiefs here.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly like the Chiefs here, but I would never like the Chiefs. Get out of here. But this is crazy. No way to
Why
judge
is that, Keith?
Huh?
Why won't you ever like the Chiefs, Raiders fan?
I mean, you just said it. We as Raiders fans are never supposed to like the Chiefs. But I mean, this is honestly ridiculous. No way Jalen Hurts keeps up with Patrick Mahomes here. It's just like, bro, the Chiefs have to be embarrassed at this point. They were doing press tours before the season about how they're gonna go undefeated, blase. They don't even know who's on the schedule. Well, they just got beat twice. And it's just like the Chargers was like at the end. Once they knew they had it, it's like, why'd you throw that? Why'd you throw it? It's like, come on, you have to be thoroughly embarrassed. The coach, like you said, is in the hospital. They have so much to play for right now. And it's just like, I don't believe in the Eagles at all. I was already wary against them. They got the super softball schedule to begin the year, got everybody hyped on them. I feel like a little bit of that is still baked into this line. Like, in what world are like, I don't know.
Can you explain that just a little bit more in depth for the listeners?
I mean, the Eagles had a pretty let me go back and look, but I remember, didn't they play the Bears to start the year or something like that?
The Eagles, I'm not sure who they play.
They got a really easy first win. They played the Falcons first game of the season.
Right, Falcons.
They were catching points in that game. They were catching 3.5 in that game.
Well, the market be off on week one, though. I think.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm just saying.
They beat them 32-6, and I feel like that may have been skewed both teams, the line for both teams in the last couple of weeks. You've seen the Falcons fight back against that, and you've seen the Eagles. I mean, it was a pretty low scoring game against the 49ers. That was like a kind of whatever game, but they just got blown out, division opponent. I am not a believer in the Eagles here, and I think it's pretty clear the Chiefs are for real. They got beat by two teams who, you know what I mean. If you're not gonna pick the Chiefs, two teams in the AFC that I think people would say have a chance. The Ravens definitely contenders when healthy, and the Chargers one of the few teams that have a puncher's chance. The Eagles are not either of those things, I don't think, even in the NFC.
So, two different tier teams.
Definitely.
Give me the Chiefs here.
All right. Next game, Cardinals at the Rams. Rams favored by 6, total 53.5. Looks like a stay away for Keys. Rome, I'm gonna start with you while I hit the bathroom.
Not laying 6 at all in division in the NFC West right now, but I will say this. I think the Cardinals, you want to talk about getting baked into the line and teams that I think are overrated. I've seen some power rankings. Obviously, I don't give too much to power rankings, but I've seen some power rankings that have like the Cardinals top 5, top 3. I don't think they're that good. I think they've been overachieving. This is a guy that holds a Kyler Murray MVP ticket. So I just think they're getting a little bit too much value on this. And with that said, it should probably behoove me to play the Rams here and lay it. But what keeps me hesitant on that is the fact that this is a division game. These two teams are pretty familiar with each other. Just to point out, this is an infamous Jalen Ramsey, DeAndre Hopkins lineup. Those guys love going up against each other. So I'm interested to see what this game will close at. It opened at 6, look ahead with 6. So seems to be even money coming on both sides. No one seems to be super moved about the Rams beating the Bucks, and no one seems to be super moved about the Cardinals beating the Jags and covering. The Cardinals did not look good early in that game, though, in Jacksonville. So, just two different teams right now that I think are on two different wavelengths. I think the Cardinals are overrated, and I think the Rams are just on pace of who they should be thus far. Just hesitant to lay the 6 in division, so I'll see where this line closes. Do lean with the Rams here, though.
All right. For Soundman, how do you feel about this game?
Yeah, I'm leaning Rams here as well. I love this. This is going to be a beautiful Sunday. We all know them, NFC West. Both of the teams, all 4 of them are playing each other at the 4 o'clock hour. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to lean Rams here. Basically the same sentiments for the Cardinals that Rome has. I really don't think they've been overachieving. And as I've been doing all season, I've been measuring every team against how they play the defending Super Bowl champs and the Bucks. Obviously, the Rams just beat the Bucks.
I don't think that's fair. That Bucks defense is a shell of what it used to be.
I mean, obviously they're hurt and all of that, but prior to that, I mean, regardless, I'm gonna measure you what you did to the Bucks and the Rams. They played a hell of a game, start to finish. And the Cardinals, I mean, like you just struggled, but I think the Cardinals probably played down to the Jags. Nonetheless, I mean, this is a divisional game. I think the Rams would win this game. Wouldn't bet it, but I would lean Rams. I think this might be like a 3-point game, but I'm still lean Rams here. Go NFC West, man.
So you think it's going to be possibly a 3-point game?
Yeah,
With
I'm not
lean
feeling
Rams?
Yeah,
Cardinals?
Yeah.
No.
So I do lean the Cardinals plus the 6. Real quick, they're Cardinals 8-6-1 against the spread after a win, 11-5-2 against the spread road team. They're good on the road. I've seen them compete with the 49ers and the Rams and the Seahawks on the road, specifically in this division. Although they are 4-6-2 against the spread division games, I'm going to just lean with the Cardinals here. Rams fat and happy. It's all good right now. Everybody's clicking on all cylinders at home. No travel, and the Cardinals were kind of in a look-ahead spot last week, so I'm sure they were looking to these Rams. So I'm going to lean with these Cardinals plus the 6 points in the division. So that's all I got for that one.
I just want to point out something about the Cardinals. I think they're not well coached.
They're not. No. There's nothing to argue about that. They're not. We can literally move on.
Kingsbury is just not. He's not a good game manager. He's not a good play caller in big situations.
When you have me hitting the group chat mid-game about the coach, you know the coach is trash. It's like that's the last thing.
Yeah, we definitely
This
is nothing new for sure. No, I definitely
glaring for me to say, wait a minute, I even would have got that one on Madden.
Right.
Just wanted to point that out. The Rams have the better coach. The Rams have the better team. That's why I lean Rams here. And now that I look at this line a little bit more, this line reminds me exactly of Colts Titans last week in division. We thought that line was steep, right? We said these games are always close. It's Titans Colts. Damn, let's play the Colts, right? This is kind of the same line.
I don't know about that, Rom. I disagree. Somebody who played the Colts last week, they had no quarterback. Guy had 2 fucking broken ankles. I think that when you have a healthy Kyler Murray is when the real difference takes place. When we had him unhealthy last year, trying to stretch down the stretch, he did not play well. So, I mean, that's the only way I would disagree.
And how about this? This line's steeper. All that you just said, and this line's steeper. So they had no quarterback last week, that being the Colts. Cardinals have the leading MVP guy, and this line is still a larger discrepancy. That makes it even more of a reason why I lean Rams. Division, this line is steep. For 2 teams on, heading towards, obviously late season collision,
right?
This line is pretty steep. And the more I look at this, the more I lean Rams.
All right, Rams 15-9-1 against the spread division games under head coach.
That looks good.
Sean McVay sure does look good. Seahawks though, next game at the 49ers. 49ers favored by 3, total of 51. I'll start with me, gentlemen. It was a like at first on the Seahawks, but I'm gonna just lean here because their red zone defense is awful. But I just think that the 49ers, I've talked about this with Rome. There's a lot of just collision from the top of the organization to the coaches. I don't think they wanted to draft Trey Lance. Shanahan didn't. I feel like they should have used him early in last week's game. Cost them the game, in my opinion. So it's a lot of ego and stuff going on there. I just think Seahawks back against the wall. I mean, both teams coming off an L, but the Seahawks really need it. You don't get it here. You're 1-3. You're in the NFC West. Kiss it goodbye, in my opinion. So Seahawks back against the wall. Meticulous P. I'm gonna just lean with the Seahawks here, plus the 3 points in division. Salman, how do you feel about this game? Yeah, Salman, how do you feel about this game? NFC West.
I'm leaning Hawks here too. I think it's same score as the Monday night game, probably a 30-28 type of deal. Hawks way. Second game home for the Niners here, NFC West battle. But like Pete said, the Seahawks need it. I don't know what happened in the second half for the Seahawks against the Vikings.
Nothing.
I think you want to come out and correct that.
Obviously, let's be technical. What happened was Tyler Lockett got hurt.
I didn't know Tyler Lockett got hurt, but I mean, you still got DK. So what are we doing here?
Tyler Lockett's been Russell Wilson's bailout for years. It's not been DK.
I'm a Ty guy. I'm a Ty fan, so I know that. But
yeah, I mean, let's be real here. I mean, you're down to one weapon offensively. That becomes an issue, specifically when that's the main guy that you've been going to for years. So that's what happened to that offense. If we're just being technical, in that second half, the Seahawks couldn't move the ball and they couldn't score because Russell Wilson didn't have one of his best weapons on the field.
Didn't know Ty got hurt. I think this is a year. I'm gonna lean with the Hawks, but I think this is a year, one of those years that the Seahawks do like really good on the road again. Obviously, I think were they on the road last week against the Vikings?
They were,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and they lost, laying
Yeah.
2.
I think
Before then they were 7-15-3 against the spread as a road team. Now 7-16.
I think this is a 6-2 year for them on the road. I think you get this win on the road. This is the Niners, like I said, second home game in like a year. First one with the fans last week. 4:00 game. I'm just gonna go with the Hawks to get this game, like I said, by like 2 points here.
All right. And I want to point out 49ers 13-19-1 against the spread as a home team under head coach Kyle Shanahan. Did everybody go on this one? Or somebody, I don't know. Keith?
I mean, I didn't have like super big analysis on this one anyway. I'm gonna go with the Hawks here. The line says even with the traditional home field advantage, they're even teams. I like the Hawks a little better right now. Until the 49ers get a little more healthy. So I gotta lean with the Hawks here.
All right, last few games. Ravens at the Broncos. Broncos favored by a point, total of 45. Soundman, I will start with you.
Yeah, this is probably the most strong feeling Soundman special I have this week. It has nothing to do with the Broncos. It just has everything to do with what I've seen from the Ravens all year. I think they've been playing good football. They've just been coming up short. Obviously, beat the Chiefs. You barely beat these Lions. You got 3 drop touchdowns from a guy. I think you go up into Denver, into the altitude. Who cares? Let's run the hell out of the ball. We're only Broncos are favored by 1. I think they win outright at this point. Let's go over here and right the wrongs. Hollywood, let's catch some balls and let's fucking score touchdowns. This is an easy win for them just to like shut up the noise. I love the Ravens here in this spot. This might be the Soundman special over the line. I love the Lions already. I have other ones, but I think this is the one I love the most as an underdog this week. I love the Ravens right here.
Yeah, I also like the Ravens here. I'm just, I just think that, last week was a kind of a letdown spot for them. This week, they only won by 2, last second field goal, kind of keying all in. Got to go to Denver, got to beat these Broncos. When we talk about the Broncos strength of schedule, who the fuck have they played? Jets. Please, if you remember anymore.
Giants.
Jets, Giants, and the Jaguars. Oh, really good. Yeah, not really good competition. I'm gonna take this Ravens team plus the points. Then they're gonna, will win outright. And then when it comes down to the full game, I think the first half is probably where they may have some issues, but full game, I like the Ravens plus the points.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I got the Ravens here. It's pretty close to a like for me, damn near like. Honestly, it's just simple. I think overreaction to the line. People, you already called out a lot of the main points. Like the Broncos schedule has been super sweet. They're 3-0. But the Ravens have played the class of the NFL so far. You got teams like the Chiefs, those scrappy Lions, and the 3-0 Ravens. I mean, it doesn't really get any harder than that. I mean, the 3-0 Raiders. It doesn't really get any harder than that. And I think a lot of what's been going on thus far in the season, I mean, albeit that makes sense, is a lot baked into this line. But I think the Ravens are a better team. And I don't think it's like Rome likes to say different tiers. I think they are different tiers of team. One is just banged up and had a much tougher schedule, so it probably doesn't look like that thus far. This may be one of those weeks where everything comes back down to life for the Broncos. At least I'm super hoping.
All right, Ron, what do you think about this game? Ravens at Broncos. Broncos favored by 1.
Well, no part to the side. I think the Ravens are the obvious side, and that's why I don't really want to touch them. Obviously, piggybacking off what you guys said, Broncos haven't played anybody. Ravens have played everybody. Like the under on this game. Total's at 45 right now. I always mention books aren't going to give you a hook for an under. They're just not. And here we are, an even number at 45. I lean on the under. Broncos chewed clock last week against the Jets. And then as I'm watching that game, I thought to myself, I said, this is the same Broncos team from last year. They weren't that sharp last year or as good as they were projected to be this year, but they chewed clock. 2 teams that like to run the ball, 2 teams that like to chew clock. Totals at 45. Like the under on this one. Probably will play it if I see any movement up, but we'll definitely pull the trigger now tonight on this at 45. And any movement down would probably leave me hesitant. Probably stuck in no man's land, but I don't think this total is going to get too much love. I think it'll be a side type of game. Like the under at 45. Probably gonna play it tonight.
All right. Okay. Next game. Steelers at the Packers. Packers favored by 7.
Ill.
I know, right? For me, it's just a lean with the Packers because they are 80, 65, and 5 against the spread in non-division games under Aaron Rodgers. And the Steelers just look bad offensively. Like they cannot move the ball. So I'm not backing a quarterback going against Father Time. I'm going to stick with the quarterback who still got some juice, a lot of juice coming off MVP year. So I'll back the Packers lean here, -7. Salman, how do you feel?
Yeah, same sentiments. I'm just gonna lean Packers here. I got nothing for the Steelers. We don't know what they got going on. Like you said, their quarterback bothering Father Time. There's reports out here that he's just
you're right. He's not battling. He lost. Like
Yeah,
he's lost. He's done. Took the L.
I was about to talk about his sports. Never mind. I watched Aaron Rodgers Tuesday today, man. My guy's in a great space. The 7 points is too much for me, but I'm still here for the Packers to just win. But I'm just lean Packers here.
All right, Keith, how do you feel about this game?
It's definitely a lean, slightly lean Packers. I want to stay away from this, honestly. It's two teams that I'm not liking right now at all.
Yeah,
it's just more. I lean Packers because I actually hate the Steelers right now, and that's literally as simple as that.
All right, Rome, how do you feel about this game? Steelers at Packers.
Another underplay for me on this one. Totals at 47. I think that line is out of whack. I think that line is 2 points too high. Steelers can get 20. Packers can get 7. There's your 47, right? But I don't think – what's 27? 27 is a weird number. I think this is more of a 24-20 type of game. I think this line is a couple points too high. I'll be looking to play the under on this one.
All right, next game. Last on the board. Bucks at the Patriots. Totals 49. Bucks favored by, looks like 6.5 at this point. Rome, how do you feel about this one? Back at you.
So this is another one I really like here. I'm not laying 7 on the road. And this is one of those games where it's going to be obviously a public game. There'll be a lot of money coming in, probably on the Bucks off a loss. And this kind of just reminds me of the Chiefs last week off a loss. Is this team going to lose 2 weeks in a row? You know, is this team so good? There's no way they lose 2 weeks in a row. If the Bucks are that good, they should be laying more than 6.5 on the road in New England.
Right.
Mac Jones has been incompetent this far on offense in terms of scoring points and getting that team up and down the field. Going back to my point, rookie quarterbacks, they are 1-10 ATS against the spread, obviously, thus far this year. And the only cover came against a rookie matchup, that being Mac Jones against my boy Zach Wilson. So This is a spot here where I'm going to fade another trend. Somebody's got to cover here. I like the Patriots to cover at home. I think they have more of a feel of what Brady wants to do as opposed to what Brady thinks the Patriots want to do. If this game gets up to 7, I'm pulling the trigger on the Patriots. If this game steeps any lower than 6, I want no parts of it. Total is pretty high. Total's at 49. That means you're going to have to get two-way action on points. So with the total that high and a team in New England that hasn't scored points, maybe this is the week that they do score points, because I don't see the Bucs going into New England scoring 30 points. A banged-up Rob Gronkowski, or is AB going to be back? Our protocols, you know, these are the things that need to be answered in terms of Bucs efficiency, in terms of the Bucs offensive efficiency. And this past weekend in LA, they didn't look too good. We know the Patriots defense isn't what the Rams defense, seems to be thus far, but they do have the names, that being Matt Judon and Kyle Van Noy, and I'm pretty sure those guys want to get back at Brady and Gronk as well. So lean Patriots on this one. If this line gets under 6, I want no parts of this.
All right, Keith, what do you think about this game? Bucks laying 6.5 at the Patriots.
I think I might want to make this a new thing, but this is definitely my popcorn game. Where it's just like, come on,
the thing, yeah, the popcorn.
Come on now, bro. Like, come on now, it's life. Sit down and watch the game. You don't need it. You don't need Brady coming back to New England. But in terms of lines, I just gotta go slightly in with the Bucks here, just because I definitely think I hate the line at 7. To his point, like if it was actually less than 7, I would actually love the Bucks here. I'm not a huge believer in Mac Jones. I don't know how anybody could be at this point, and that's literally what it is. Everything that's telling me so far is that you want to think, was it Belichick? Was it Brady? Everything so far is saying it was Brady. So I'm just gonna ride that. I'm just gonna be like, yo, he's the golden boy. Like I'm done down him.
All right, Sound Man, what do you think about this game? Last game on the board for us.
What was the drop that you gave me last week with Russell Westbrook? Y'all niggas tripping. Y'all niggas are tripping, bro. I love Brady, as we all know, bro. Niggas about to crush these niggas, man. You welcome back. Did you guys see the promo video? The Adele joint?
Yeah.
All right,
Coming
son.
home, bro.
Welcome back. Hello from the other side, guys. We're here, bro. Like, yo, I don't care who's out there for Tom. He got Mike. He got Godwin. We don't need Gronk. AB, if he's here, cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's run the ball up. The issue with them is not scoring. It's just continue to score. They will score points in like a flurry. You get 21, 28. You know what I'm saying? By like midway through the second. It's like, what are we going to do after that? These Patriots cannot score, as we can see at this point. Obviously, like Keith said, is it Brady? Is it Belichick? It's obviously Brady at this point. Yo, I love the Bucks here. Let's go. This is night game, yo. Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've played it for 20 years. 20 years. I can't win by 7 or more? Bro, get out of here.
I slightly agree with Soundman there. I lean with the Bucks. It was gonna be a stairway because I hate to bet against Belichick, but yeah, I mean, this isn't a lot of points. I was really just waiting for the AB news. I mean, they're so much better when AB plays with them. So yeah, I lean with the Bucks, my 6.5. Any stats to really talk about? Not really, because they're so intertwined. So let's get into teaser picks. Tease me, gentlemen.
I got mine.
All right, go first, Soundman. Talk to me.
My teasers are my 2 favorites for this week.
You know, you're undefeated this year. So.
Yeah, I know. They're my favorites for my Soundman special. It's the Lions and the Ravens. I'm going to tease the Lions to +9, and I'm going to get the Ravens to +7. That's that.
All right. I think the Ravens are actually catching them points. So you can get them +8.
That's cool, too. I'll take it there.
All right. Keith, what do you got for me? Are you ready or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm definitely gonna tease the Titans down to -1.5. You know, just win by 2 against the Jets. Like, all right, that's one leg. Type shit. Like, all right, that's one. And then I'm actually gonna tease the. This is so. Come back to me for my second one because I really want to think about this. I want to keep this. This is all I got.
Are we going to touch on the Raiders Chargers game, or are we just kind of?
No, that's Monday Night Football. Come on, kid.
Okay.
I have nothing.
All right. What do you got for me, Ron? Tease me pick.
I want to tease the. I'll tease the Giants. The Vikings up, and if that line obviously closes at Vikings laying 1, I'm not teasing across 0, so that will be contingent on where that line closes.
Yep.
I will tease the Chiefs down to pick them, and as of right now, to be honest, those are my 2. So obviously one's contingent on something else. So I kind of have like one real teaser this week.
I got my second one.
All right, talk to me, Keith. Start off with your first one again, and then.
Oh yeah, sorry. My first one was I was teasing the Titans down to 1.5, and I think I want to get mixy, and I want to tease the Saints Giants over. I want to put it down to what would that be? I'm terrible with math right now.
What's the total?
37.5. It's 43.5. I think it would be like 37.5.
Yep.
And let me just touch on why we don't tease things across 0. Going back to my point on the Vikings teased up. When you play a teaser, and specifically a line like this, where the line is 1, and the team that's laying 1, that being a favorite by 1 point, when you tease them up on a 6-point teaser, you lose value teasing them across 0. I've seen it a couple times this year. I don't know why people do it, but if you have a 6-point teaser and the line is 1, them laying the 1, them being favored by 1, that means you can only tease them up to +5. 0 counts as a point. You get no value for teasing a team across 0. So theoretically, that's a 5-point teaser as opposed to a 6-point teaser, and it's still at -210 per play. So that's why you don't tease across 0. That's why the Vikings play is contingent on where the line closes. So do not tease across 0. If you got a favorite, like last week, I saw somebody tease Seattle -2 to Seattle +4. That's not a smart play. You've lost a point on the line. You could have teased. If you don't, how about this? If you want to tease across 0, you need to consider playing the other side straight at -110 because you're losing a point. So
when you say the other side, you mean the regular line.
The regular line on the other side.
Yeah.
Can't tease across 0. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, I got you. I'm actually put that at the start of the episode so we can make that a very valid point. For me, I'm going to tease the Panthers up to 11, go through key numbers of 7 and 10. Come on, baby. I love that. And then I am also going to tease the Packers. Give me them a pick 'em. Steelers are bad. So that's my tease me picks.
That line closed
And
at 7. That is a nasty bad beat.
yeah, so and we're out of here. And best bets.